Hello, I'm poolside with Scott Phillip from the team
Wales.
Sydney Wales from Australia. First time that you guys have participated in this competition.
This is actually the second time the Sydney Whales have got into Champions Cup, and I believe the third time that Australia has come here.
And how does it feel that you've been able to hold on to the position as the top team?
In Australia? No, it's really great. I think Champions Cup is a wonderful event, particularly for clubs, because you can bring all of your club players, not necessarily national players. They can develop, they can work on their skills, see the best nations in the world, and we can bring all of those skills and that diversity of play style back to the country and really grow the club.
And what have you learned from the past competitions and here this time?
Yep. So I guess like this time we've got 3 games today. We've had 2 of 3. The first game was against Akron, the top Norwegian champs, and then also against the Orcas, the top Colombian champs. So very different styles, and definitely tested us. But with 6-0 both games, we were happy with that. We're happy with that, particularly against the Orcas. I guess like to answer your question about the playing style. They're like clockwork, up, down, left, right, like triangles, like all the geometry that's going on down there. It's intense, but we're seeing, they're reading and seeing how they play together. Akron a little bit more physical, a bit more opportunistic, less structured, I'd say, but certainly gelling together and put us through the runs.
And they all very experienced. A lot of players on these teams have played longer. They have double the length of playing time that your players are, even longer.
In terms of Australian players, yeah, I'd say like I'm one of the older playing Australian-born players, as opposed to those that have like born in Colombia or elsewhere. And I've been playing for about 7 years. But then, what is 7 years in terms of like high competition level? I can play the World Cup and I'm playing Champions Cup, so there's not too many international competitions that we've played compared to some of these older clubs, more established rugby nations.
Okay. A lot of people want to know what's happened to Kansin. He was the national coach, and then he's not the national coach anymore. Who is now? What happened? And I'm sure it's not always simple, but I don't know, a summary anyway.
Yeah. I guess like without getting into the details of it, there were a few actions that happened. I don't really want to go into it too much, but all of that is in the past now, and the Australian nation's moving forward, and we're definitely going to the World Cup next year in Graz. And the national team's just about to be announced. So that's all that's coming real soon.
Hush, hush. Yeah. Yeah. Do you think you'll make the team?
Quietly confident. You'll see me there.
But it's good that, I've written about Australia and things are happening, but it's so far away and it's hard to follow everything from such a distance.
Yeah.
But I feel like even if there are some turbulence, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It means that people care and that change can happen, because it's a lot worse if the same people run things and if people aren't happy but there's never any change. That's not good.
That's right, absolutely. And we're constantly learning, constantly evolving. We're trying to get as much experience as we can. So, we're learning things from Turkish experienced players. We're learning things from Spanish, Colombian, Venezuelan, Danish, Norwegians, so it's quite a lovely destination, as you can imagine if you've ever been there. So we get exchange students through, people coming for work, people traveling, and as the main destination in that area, particularly Sydney, but also the other cities in Australia. We're getting a lot of expertise, and I like to think of the international players are like the fertilizer. We got the ground, we got the soil, we got the garden bed. And the international players are coming in over the last decade, and they're really bringing in their perspectives, and we appreciate all of them.
Oh, I like that metaphor. Yeah. And how do you think things are going PR-wise for the sport in Australia? Has it managed to get into the mainstream media in a way which is not do you know about this weird sport? Because that's very irritating to a lot of players.
Yeah, around certain events, like the media will pick it up, but it's only little bits. It's not mainstream sport that's getting televised or screened outside of the rugby community so much. But we're looking to change that, and certainly around events like coming to Berlin for this event or the World Cup, we can get some coverage about that. Yeah.
At speed, you guys are pretty fast in the water.
Yeah, well, as early adopters of the sport, we're kind of like pioneering the sport, but we're slowly reaching a wider audience. And Australia is a great swimming nation. We're surrounded by water. Everyone's got a pool in the backyard almost. So once that kind of tips over into the mainstream and it's a bit more accepted in the community, yeah, look out, because we got speed now, but just you wait. Australia in the next decade or less, it's just growing. And you've probably seen, and anyone who's following Australia from last World Cup or last Champions to now, it's growing.
Definitely. And in terms of the style of play, you mentioned that Orcas, and that's definitely a distinctive style where they're swimming around a lot and doing it 180 degrees around the basket and passing it back in, using the passes in order to eliminate the swimming, because they're swimming fast. They try to up the tempo. Yeah. Everywhere it's necessary to up the tempo in order to get those opportunities. Do you guys feel like you found anything that you said, we can make this work, we can hurt people with this?
In terms of giving away Australian tactics, probably not going to say it right now, but look out for us at Graz, because we're definitely any team's got to work on their strength, whether it's size or speed or agility or ball handling, hard defense, hard press. We're trying a few different things out, and ultimately it depends on the players we get as well. So the players will also dictate a bit of that style. But yeah, we're borrowing and evolving techniques that we're learning here and previous competitions, and as I said, from those other experienced players from around the world.
All right, and you personally, in terms of ways to score goals, have you come up with set patterns that you say, in every situation I know what I should do, and it's into my muscle memory, into my lizard brain? Actually,
in terms of lizard brain, the best person to talk to is Samuel from Colombia. Really interesting at the Underwater Rugby Academy. I'll plug that. Really open with sharing what they've been doing over that side. They've been looking at biomechanics. They've been putting sensors on fins, on body parts, joints, and tracking their players and working the most effective way to score in the classic push off the ground, shoulder into the back of the goalkeeper. And I think ultimately that's probably the most efficient when you've got numbers under there and someone that can push, because no matter if there's a defender or goalkeeper, I think that's most effective. If you've got some big size and whatnot, you can come in from the top. I know that from the juniors, Turkey coming through with their strong style and hitting on those angles. So yeah, it's interesting.
And Colombia did as well. It's impressive when you see somebody, they don't need any help. They just go in, one hit on the shoulder, and then smash the ball through. So in a way, it's almost like a punch, but it's legal because it's not
body to body.
Well, yeah. Well, it's not a punch with a fist. Yeah. It's an open palm. So, yeah. And the men and women, how have you guys been able to help each other in this competition besides moral support? Obviously, Australia is very good at that.
Yeah, definitely. Even though this time we're from different clubs, we're coming from one nation, one country, and it's really important to support our players. We pull out. We're looking at pulling the fundraising together. We're looking at cheering, the moral support, spare gear. We're basically like one club or nation together, traveling together. I don't know how the other countries do it, but it does count. It does count. So, like, for example, in the last game against the Orcas, had a bit of a bust with my finger here. You can see it's a bit sore there. There was a bit of blood. So I just...
Was that your blood here on the surface?
No. No, I just shot. As soon as I felt it, I looked at the surface, like, I've got to get out. Came out. The ladies' team was there. They were like, yep, towel it up, dry it up, tape it up. And I was waiting there. As soon as it was done, saw my sub come out and bang, I'm back in. So that can only happen when you got the support of other players. And you can see over there, we're all in there. They're talking one club, support, gear, it's all there.
You guys are physiotherapists even.
And yeah, that's true. We're looking after our players with two wonderful. They're actually Dutch physiotherapists, and they're looking out for all of our squad.
All right. So, and what in the water is? Do you have anybody scouting, watching the games in order to give feedback?
Actually, shout out to all the people back in Australia watching, back in all of our hometowns, and family and friends, but also particularly one of the coaches, Lyle. He gave us a great rundown. He was watching all the live feeds, so thanks for the live feed, and he just like texted that all to us live, and he said this as he's watching, and he's doing analytics for us live for each game.
So he's a really brilliant guy in terms of tactics and strategy.
Yeah, he's got a great eye for sports, all sports, and he's putting that eye on rugby and giving us pointers, and he's staying up real late to do that.
Lyle, what's his last name?
I can't remember right now.
All right. Lyle the Geek. All right.
Yeah. He's also about this big. Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, this is really interesting and good, and well, thank you very much. Yeah. And your next match is?
Next match is against Zurich. So it was Akeran, Norway, Orcas, Colombia, and now we're going to Switzerland for Zurich.
It's a chance to take it out on somebody.
That's it. We're warm. We're ready. Thank you, Davro.
There you go.